Well, folks, this is it. This is officially going to be the final episode of this run. Considering it's the end, I thought it would be fitting to bring back one of the original team members for a final jaunt. Ice Beam is officially back on the team as the probably new main Mega Evolution, honestly. The speed is going to be significantly more useful than the raw power that Mega Medicham would offer. Oh, did that live? Does this thing have sturdy? I don't think it does. Carcosta. So, as you can tell, many of my Pokemon here resist rock. Granted, his Pokemon do have quite a few. His Pokemon do have quite a few ground moves, hardy, but he's generally not that difficult to beat. Hmm. Alright, so. Fucking Weavile. Doubt this thing at +2 outruns Weavile, so low kick. Alistair. And I love how peaceful Gate City's theme is. It's considering this is the end of the game right now, like having it be this calming is really nice. So I guess this is just kind of the final stroll around town for this run. And because it's the last episode, we're putting battle animations on to make it a little more flashy. Made sure to buy a lot of full restores. But I've still got plenty of Ultra Potions too. So I wrote down this puzzle. Okay, so this one needs to be 3. This one needs to be 2 from the right. All the way to the right. Yep, wrong thing. Okay, these two are the same. Both are 2 for the left. Ooh, got a battle here. It feels good to have Ice Beam back on the team. She was always one of the most reliable members early on, and like having a lot of the members of the original team and the new here is I really like that. Ow? I guess. Okay, now after those 2 is just that one's where it is. Then these last 2 are. I don't think that's correct, but it's what I got from the forums. Tyranitar and Fainted Tar. God, I'm worried at how short this episode might be for the finale. Hardy is a pretty anticlimactic final boss for this point in the game because he's the rock type. He's really not that hard to beat. And that's just kind of all there is to it, honestly. Out of common candies. I'll have to fix that before going into the gym itself. Yeah, it's supposed to be how you know to do it. Basically, it's kind of... Then he plays a little solo in the back, door opens. These guys tell him? Nope. Alright, let's just fly back to the Reborn stop. Yeah. It feels strange having this as just like being at the end now, because I've been doing this for like this few months now. I really only got super back into it. Where the hell's the Pokemon Center? Whatever. Let's just go the long way. And like, it feels strange for it to be like at the end. Get the Taurus. Come on, Taurus, cooperate with me here. And like, yeah, it was always going to have to end eventually, but I've had a lot of fun doing this, and like, it's gonna feel kind of odd not to have this thing to just constantly progress on. That people can like actually enjoy watching, even if it is only a few people. I already have the title for this episode in mind. It's going to be a reference to a song by an artist that I really adore. It's just about like... That's good. Should be honestly probably just what I need for the rest of the game. Now, it's obviously not like the end permanently, because this is just the end of the current episode. Once I beat once I beat this, I have to wait until episode 19 comes out, which I hope is later this year, but it very well might not be. It's been in development for quite some time, and I don't think anyone knows when it's really going to release, but it'll be worth it when it does. And when that comes, I will probably beat it a few times on my personal files, work out strategies and stuff for the new boss battles, before coming back to this and tackling the final episode with this team. And on the side, while I wait, I'll probably take some time to gather up the other Pokemon that I didn't get. Stuff like Bisharp, Scolipede, Clefable. And I'll probably spend time leveling them up, EV training them, getting them into forms that are capable of taking on that next episode, so that when that episode comes out, I'll have them all in prime condition. But enough about that. Let's talk about the final boss. Gym Leader 17, Hardy. You fight him in a double battle in a very interesting situation. Probably the biggest thing is that he immediately will lead off with a Mega Aerodactyl. It might seem kind of funny to see so many of his Pokemon having to move Rock Smash of all things. But that's because it's kind of has double power at minimum in this field. And I believe always drops defense. You can try and exploit his multitude of honestly just kind of ludicrous amount of I don't think it's possible for me to. Is it timid? It's adamant. I might actually be able to outrun it with Weavile. It's definitely not an easy battle, but as far as this game's gyms go, it's not particularly difficult. I don't expect this to be a first try victory, but at least it'll be a fun battle to end the series on. I love how his little versus screen puts in guitar strings. Like, this guy in general is just super cool. Okay, let's see. Oh, wait, I forgot. That guy's 150 base speed, not 130. That's a dead Weavile. Flinched, and then another Rock Slide. Ooh. Yeah, the Mega Aerodactyl is honestly a huge issue. But I'm not ending this episode until this gym is beaten. Okay, so let's move Waluigi back. I keep forgetting to fix his name. Okay, have an idea? Weavile's just going to kind of be like a high-speed option for dealing some damage to the more fragile Pokemon on the scene. So let's try a high jump kick, but I also want to high jump kick the Aerodactyl using Toxic Site here. That won't kill Toxic Site because it's a resisted move. And yeah, that's a one-shot at Gigalith. Turn 1, 2 Pokemon down? I'd say that's damn solid. Of course, now we've got this to deal with. As you probably guessed, that Lycanroc is Sandrush. And not only is it Sandrush, it's Choice Band. As you look here, this thing has a Flying Gem. It pops a Flying Gem Acrobatics on turn 1. I don't know what Pokemon this game identifies as higher threat. But I'm going to switch Impote. And rather than heal, like I was originally intending, it just occurred to me that I still know Bullet Punch. Depending on how much damage this does, it might activate Defeatist. There's the Rock Slide. Fuck, that still hurts like a bitch. But it went for Rock Slide anyway, rather than Acrobatics. Yeah, because that still does scary amounts of damage, even without the... Okay, so... I'm gonna use Ginro for this. He very much resists that like in Rock's Rock Slides, and perhaps more importantly, isn't weak to acrobatics, because even with Defeatist procced, that's still going to hurt quite a bit. So long as Ultra Potions will still suffice, I don't feel the need to use up full restores.
Cinnamon buns are done.
Okay. Now, let's opt for Meteor Mash. Yeah, I know this. Yep, that hurts. Is that... Oh, why did he use that on Boat? Probably expected an easy KO. If I had to guess. Now there's this Lycanroc too. This team is very scary. Just the incredible amount of offense. Alright, so. Trying to figure out what I should do here. Okay, so these three are all down. That's good. The Rampardos is still in the back. This thing actually knows Accelerock, which is... Ugh. I'm going to bet they'll focus down Boat. Like maybe they'll both target him, so I'm going to do that. Just on a whim. And then I think Meteor Mash should still one-shot, so... Which one used the Rock Slide? It's the Sand Rush one, because that's fast. Oh, they both used Rock Slide. Oh. That might actually... That didn't kill Ginro. I'm honestly really curious as to why that wouldn't go for Rock Smash. Or for Drill Run. Okay. Now Boat is once again going to be healed up here. I think the best I can really get in here is +1 extreme speed. Still does a decent chunk. Boat dodged. Ginro is now fainted. Rampardos is also using Rock Slide. Because of course it is. The sandstorm has subsided. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is... These things are both quick and Rock Slide. Boat's just kind of here to take hits and act as like a bit of a... Basically, he's taking hits so that other Pokemon on the team don't have to. I think this Rampardos is still faster than Mesa. I shot it for a good chunk. I honestly probably could have just killed it with Mach Punch, but... Yeah, so now... Oh. So it's down to the 2 Pokemon here that still remain from the very first group. Something poetic about that, honestly. Finish it with a Mach Punch. Take out the Rampardos, and the single high jump kick to fell the Lycanroc. Beautiful. And that's it. The run is over. Walking out of this gym will get you the final creepy dialogue with that one voice, but we're not here to talk about them. So they try to scare you by pretending they're going to leave you on the screen, but we don't care. what we care about is this wonderful team. One last time. Thickest Bee. Arguably one of the most clutch Pokemon of the entire run. His Cosmic Power shenanigans were by far one of the most important things and were instrumental to several boss fights, most notably SIL and Radimus, which I otherwise might not have been able to beat without him. Honora, the regularly named Trapinch that I traded for in the Pinwheel Forest once. You didn't do much, girl, but you're with us in spirit, and I wouldn't be surprised if you were able to show your worth in the future. Pain Split, my freaking man, really helped to carry through those early gyms where Pokemon were so limited. Explosion and Spike shenanigans, not to mention Nature Power and Natural Gift at times. He really put in a lot of work. And he even pulled up one last time in the late game to help take out Amaria. The doof. Someone I honestly didn't expect to stay on the team as long as he did. He proved his worth. Even without Moody for half the time he was there, he was more than enough to help take on some of the game's biggest early game threats. Yawn, Strength, a lot of really good early game moves. And definitely one of the most memorable members of this team. Ditto, you did literally nothing, but that little smile of yours is always good for team morale. PK Mad Lad, easily one of my favorite Pokemon of the entire run. Pretty solid at the beginning. Speed was nice. Wasn't really fantastic, but it was definitely solid, and the flying type super ability to do flying type super effective damage was huge. But then we got the Flame Orb, and those 2 hours that I spent in that stupid game corner to get Facade were finally worth it. The ludicrous amount of damage that those Guts boosted Facades did in the late game led to a large amount of enemy Pokemon being one-shot, and Bad Lad sometimes swept almost entire teams on her own. She was phenomenal, and despite being in the box right now, is still counted among the most valuable members of this team. Squadloon. You were helpful in the early game. And if you didn't stick around for long, you still helped in certain spots. I remember you being moderately useful during Shelly's gym. And hey, Squadloon. Let's just not talk about this one. Flareon, named after a very good friend of mine, and a very reliable Pokemon for a lot of the run. Pretty much just clicked 2 buttons most of the time in Flare Blitz and the occasional Quick Attack, but those Flare Blitzes did hella damage. This thing has the same attack stat as a Machamp, and it showed it. It was a great secondary fire type, and was incredibly useful, and that little bit of extra help against Titania was invaluable for taking out that Mega Scizor. Reverse Sweep, sadly never got his chance to shine, but we're gonna have a lot coming up against us in the next few episodes, in the last episode. And when that day comes, I have a feeling we're gonna have a nice, fast baton passer by our side, throwing out hella powerful stab Mega Horns. Winter. You were really only there for one battle, and now Weavile has mostly fulfilled your role. But the things you did in that combat were invaluable. You helped learn the pattern of the boss and what strategies did and didn't work for taking out Amaria's incredibly difficult team. And in the end, were the one to effectively deal the final blow via Perish Song. Considering that Amaria's gym was probably the single hardest in the game, Winter did a huge service to us. And then there was Big Brain time. very simple Pokemon, but an undeniably incredibly effective one. Put in a lot of work, it did, and just acted as a fast, strong member of the team for whenever we needed you in the mid game. Even if you're not on the main squad now, not out for the count permanently. There's always room for fast psychic types. And then, of course, gotta give a little honorable mention to Ghostbuster down here. Only showed up for one battle against Shade, but put in a little bit of work. And then, of course, we come to the final ones. Let's heal the party first. They deserve it. But let's start off with the most appropriate. Drop a fucking PK, people. This guy was on the team and almost never left it throughout the entire run. From beginning to end, he was the single most reliable, most consistent Pokemon on this entire squad. Infernape is a favorite of SIL for a reason, and this run just made me appreciate this Pokemon even more than I already did. Definitely one of the most valuable Pokemon of the run, and I'm extremely happy for him to have been my starter. Ice Beam. One of the first Pokemon that was ever caught on this team, and an early game MVP due to the raw power that Stab Return had. I knew she'd fall off eventually, as most early game Pokemon do, but Stab Return let her last to a surprisingly late part of the game. Right up into the point where the group was in the level of 60 range. Fighting past Radames, Shelly, Julia, Florinia, so many early game Pokemon. The random coverage of Jump Kick was invaluable for prior to when Drop a PK got his really good fighting moves. And now in the end, she came through for us one last time, helping us take out the final gym. Definitely incredibly valuable teammate. And then Boat. Boat was honestly the surprise pick of this one. He came into this squad and cemented himself as one of the best defensive Pokemon I had, eating hits like no one's business, and dishing out hella strong attacks with those Hydro Pumps. Flash Cannon coming in the late game for some crucial coverage, and playing a major role in defeating CL by taking out several of her Pokemon and generally providing speed control with that Icy Wind Egg move he had. And hell, even pitching him with some Defiant boosted Drill Packs and Waterfalls in certain points. Came around to the middle of the game and ended up staying for the rest of it. But this was an incredibly valuable Pokemon. Toxicite. Named for apparently the worst player in Pokemon history, but nonetheless a valued member of the team. Because, let's be honest, Toxicite was a powerhouse. One-shotting Pokemon left and right, somehow just having enough speed to outrun in some really weird situations. Even with that awkward nature for the first few levels, she was always incredibly valuable. And then once we got that Mega Stone, she started kicking the shit out of things, and that's really about all I can say. Just an absolute powerhouse through and through. And then, Waluigi, whose name I still have forgotten to put on. Weavile's one of my favorite Pokemon. And although he only showed up at the tail end of the run, there is no denying that he helped carry us through that Glass Workshop gauntlet. One of the toughest battles in the entire game, if not the single hardest. Ice is a fantastic offensive type. Great offensive stats and the fantastic speed and attack that we all know and love it for. And of course, just some nice coverage. Weavile, you only showed up at the very end, but you put in a lot of work and definitely proved yourself worthy of remaining on the team for whenever the next episode comes out, and finally, another late arrival in Ginro. I was completely surprised by this one. I hatched a random egg, it was the first one I got, and boom, it was shiny. And not only that, but it had fantastic stats across the board, and I just had to take it. And it was too cool to not add to the team, and I don't regret adding Ginro to the team for 1 minute. Triple Fighting was incredibly fun to use, and mixing that up with Meteor Mash for random attack raises and just crucial coverage, not to mention this disgusting priority combo here. Vacuum Wave to bypass things that have buffed up their defense, and Extreme Speed to just be freaking Extreme Speed. Ginro has been incredible, and should there ever be a time where this game puts Lucario Knight into the game, he's becoming one of the staple megas. You know he is. But, with all of that being said, that's it. Thanks for watching this all with me, folks. And I might be putting out something new in the near future. I've talked about it a few times on this show before, and I can now confirm that I'm doing it. Within the next week or so, expect to see the first episode of Can You Beat Pokemon Rejuvenation using only untiered Pokemon. I'll see you then, but for now, goodbye.